It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all here. This is a special occasion for us. These are not just words of courtesy, and I hope you will be able to see and feel it for yourself. Firstly, we have gathered here to honor the Prime Minister of Georgia, Mr. Irakli Garibashvili, who's visiting Brussels. And he will address you and tell you why he's here and what are his and his people's expectations from this visit. We are also privileged to be joined here by the Foreign Minister, Maya Panjagidze, and the State Minister for European and Euro-Atlantic Integration, Mr. Alexei Bedriashvili. I would also like to say that this is a special occasion for me personally. I have the honor to be serving Georgia at this historic junction when I think Georgia-EU relations are at its most intense and dynamic. I have had the honor of meeting some of you, and those who I have not met before, I'm very happy to welcome you here. And finally, let me say that this is particularly nice to greet you here in this building. We have not been inhabiting it for very long. This is a new embassy, and we do like it here. I have even asked two Georgian artists who live and work in Antwerp to share their works with us today, so that you can get the taste of the Georgian art, which is thriving in Europe. This particular piece, when I saw, I called it EU-Georgia Embrace. Just don't ask me who is who. Anyway, I would like to pass the floor to the Prime Minister, and then he will address questions from you as well. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, dear friends, it is an honor for me to be here amongst you and to be able to greet you in person at this wonderful embassy. As you know, this is my first visit to Brussels in my capacity as Georgia's Prime Minister. I came here to deliver the main message of my government. We are fully committed to the European choice made by our people and by our government, and we are determined to do all that it takes to sign the association agreement as soon as it is possible. Mr. Barroso joked that we may have an entry in the record book of Guinness with the most speedy conclusion of negotiations of the most comprehensive agreement in our history. And I'm happy to break the record, and I will be even happier if we break this record of its quickest and the most effective implementation. Early application of the association agreement is our best defense against external and internal pressures, and it will open unique economic opportunities to our businesses. It will enable us to participate in the EU programs. It will strengthen our civil society and democratic institutions. And ultimately, it will help us build a prosperous, free, and European Georgia, which is our ultimate goal. Ladies and gentlemen, let me add that association agreement, for all its importance, is not an end game for us. It is a step on the way towards our ultimate goal of integration into the European Union. This is why it is so important in these turbulent times, not only for Georgia but also for the entire Eastern Partnership, not to deprive us of our dreams and prospects. We want to join the European Union and NATO when we are ready, but we need to be seeing the light in the end of the tunnel. You know better than me that it was precisely this promise of eventual membership that transformed so effectively the countries of Eastern and Central Europe. Esteemed representatives of some of these states are here today, and I would like to express my deep gratitude to them for their support and understanding. I wish to take this opportunity to convey my special thanks to Lithuania. It was precisely during the Lithuanian presidency that we achieved the biggest success in our relations with the European Union. And I also look forward to the Greek presidency, and I hope that the momentum that we have will stay and further intensify. With this, I would like to end and pass the floor to Mr. De La Pena, who has kindly agreed to say a few words for this occasion. Afterwards, I will be happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Well, to all of you and to Nathalie for her hospitality. You've been able to gather an impressive representation of the EU institutions and member states, which is, I think, a living testimony of the importance we all attach to the relationship with Georgia. Let me echo what the Prime Minister said about the strength of the EU-Georgia relationship. We have much to celebrate. Under successive governments, Georgia has consistently demonstrated its commitment to the path of European integration. This commitment has earned our loyal friendship. We know that challenges will come, and the European Union will stand beside Georgia as it faces those challenges. When you look at the breadth and the depth of EU-Georgia relations today, we can be rightly proud of what we have achieved. Georgia has become a standard by which we measure the neighborhood policy. From cooperation in CSDP missions, to visa facilitation, to energy cooperation, the EU's complexity is reflected in our relationship with Georgia. The association agreement with DCFTA, which we initialed at Vilnius last November, is the pinnacle of what we have achieved so far, but is not the end point. Signing the DCFTA with Georgia this year will be a highlight for EU external relations in 2014. We worked very hard, breaking records, as you said, in the coming months to prepare for this landmark event. Of course, signature is not the end of the road, it's the beginning of a new phase of profound political association and economic integration. Well, we should be careful to manage some of the more wild expectations for the association agreement and the CFTA. We should nevertheless celebrate this achievement, including by doing more together to explain its benefits to our public. The association agreement and the CFTA will offer great potential for economic growth, investment and prosperity, but above all, they represent our common vision for shared values. These values are the rule of law, the predictable and secure environment for business and consumers, a higher standard of living and greater quality of life. Georgia has led the way in the EU's eastern neighborhood in demonstrating commitment to these values. The last 2 years have seen two landmark elections in which power has changed hands peacefully. Georgia has built on a record of fighting crime and corruption, a record of which it should be proud, by pursuing deep reforms in the justice sector and building sound, independent institutions to defend its democracy. The EU looks to you, Prime Minister, to take this important work forward. I thank you, Prime Minister, for your continuing commitment to pursue the path of European integration and to build upon Georgia's successes. The coming months will bring challenges. On this, we can be sure. Together, the EU and Georgia have withstood many challenges, and together, we will face those that come. Thank you.
Thank you.